Good Monday morning to you. Grant Johnston here with this weather preparation episode on this Monday, February 5th. And we're starting off here with a local view in North Texas. Then we'll kind of broaden it out, take a look across the country. There is a lot going on coming off of an active weekend. And here in North Texas this morning, we're starting off on the cool side. It's brisk with that wind blowing through, temperatures in the upper 40s and low 50s. We're starting off with a bit of cloud cover, a little drizzle, but that won't hang around long. We'll see these clouds diminish. We'll get some sunshine in here, and eventually we'll top out close to 60, around 61 later today. But certainly a little chilly here as you head out the door. Upper 40s this morning. That wind is blowing. And you can see temperatures climbing slowly through the 50s today, kind of leveling off this afternoon around 60 to 61 in Dallas-Fort Worth. Again, some sunshine coming our way. So you're good to go without the umbrella, but you might encounter a little brief drizzle here this morning. These clouds won't hang around long. And these clouds are connected to that area of low pressure through the southeast and down through Florida that was responsible for the severe weather over the weekend, those tornado warnings down through Florida. Things should be quieter down there today. But out west, yes, continues to be a serious situation out in California. The relentless rain, the flooding continues, and big problems out there. Certainly travel delays to be expected. As we look across the country today, that wet weather, the flooding concerns out in California, and more heavy snow through the Sierra Nevada mountains. Down through Florida, the rain's still hanging on, but through the midsection of the country, things quieting down aside from that north wind through the central plains and some chilly weather up through the northeast. As we advance this out into Tuesday, you can see the wet weather continues out west and also through the southwest. Meanwhile, the east coast clearing out, including Florida, and things kind of getting back to normal down there in the Sunshine State. So no real extreme cold as we look to Tuesday, and then as we advance this out to Wednesday, you can see fairly mild weather, really mild weather through the central plains Wednesday. But meanwhile, out west, things continue to be unsettled with more snow through the Rockies. And unlike the last storm system, this one in the west will take more of a northerly track, so it will not cross the southern plains later this week. And temperatures warming up nicely into the 60s and 70s through the middle part of the country. As you see those high temperatures by midweek really surging, especially up there toward Chicago. You're going to be close to 60 degrees by Thursday, and temperatures staying mild in the eastern half of the country. And as we're looking here at the current hazards across the country, definitely out west, that's where the main problems are. More flooding to be a concern in California. Flood advisories also have high wind warnings out there. What a storm system. They just cannot catch a break. So serious situation out there. The pink colors indicate winter storm warnings. So an additional 1 to 2 feet, maybe 3 feet of snow in some of the areas of the Sierra Nevada mountains. And you can see those winter storm warnings extend into Nevada as well. Upper Midwest, northern plains dealing with fog here this morning and a wind advisory down through Louisiana. So the wind continues to be a problem. And now looking at the weather across the country from the National Weather Service, their simplified weather map here. The green indicates the rain, the snow, and the blue out to the west. They just cannot catch a break. So more hazardous travel out there in California, heavy snow through the mountains, and certainly that is something to watch. The rain down through Florida hanging on for a few more hours here this morning, and also fog showing up in yellow in the upper Midwest and the northern plains. Perhaps a bit of light icing up through North Dakota and western sections of Minnesota. As we advance through time, though, you can see how that goes away. Most of the fog dissipates. Later this afternoon, the rain, of course, still hanging on out through California, but that rain pretty much tapers off down through Florida. High temperatures today, mild across the south and southeast. Not quite as warm as you'd expect down through Florida with the lingering clouds. Highs generally the 60s down there. Up through New England and the northeast, highs in the 30s and 40s, and around the Great Lakes, highs mostly in the 40s today. Upper Midwest, highs in the 40s, and through the middle of the country, generally cool. But I guess all things considered mild for this time of year in the 50s, and then where that rain and snow is falling, colder out to the west. As we advance to Tuesday, you can see how that warmth surges through the middle of the country. Highs in the 60s through the southern plains and the 70s down along the Gulf Coast. Still kind of cool down through Florida. Highs generally in the 60s, unless you're in far south Florida, and in the 70s. And weather-wise on Tuesday here for tomorrow, Looking at that storm system still out to the west, slowly pushing into the upper Midwest. And as I mentioned, this storm system taking more of a northerly track as opposed to the last one, which took more of a southerly track late last week and through the weekend. So this is the weather map for Wednesday. And again, if you missed it, there's Tuesday. And as we slowly advance this into Wednesday, you can see how the storm system is pushing out into the plains. It's going to produce a lot of wind as we head through the middle of the week. As I switch this over to wind speed, you can see how the wind starts to be a problem by Wednesday from Nebraska through Kansas, eastern Colorado, the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. A lot of wind, probably 30, maybe 40 mile per hour winds as that storm system passes on through to the north and into the central plains. We'll check back here with the weather, and as we head off later into the week by Thursday, looking at some showers breaking out the Mississippi Valley and up around the Great Lakes. A few of these could extend farther south into Arkansas and northern Louisiana, far east Texas, and then, of course, the snow on the backside. Let's check the temperature map here for Thursday, and you can see how that warmth has lifted to the north up into the Chicago area through the Ohio Valley. It's going to be mild, highs in the 60s through Missouri. It looks like Kansas City in the mid-60s by Thursday, up into Des Moines, Iowa, low 60s, and nice, pleasant weather by Thursday for Texas. Dallas-Fort Worth will be in the low 70s. And out west, of course, we've got improving conditions, finally, it looks like, for California by late in the week as the storm system and as the snow kind of shifts farther to the east. Could see a few thunderstorms through the Ohio Valley, the lower Mississippi, and the southeast as we head toward Friday. As we kind of confirm everything here, looking at our computer model, and again, we're talking about we'll kind of walk you through talking about that storm system moving through the southeast, exiting Florida later today and tonight. Meanwhile, out west, yes, today is going to be a problem with the flooding concerns, the snow through California. And again, this is the North American model, and we'll stretch this out as far as it will go. You can see the storm system takes a northerly track. As mentioned, out ahead of it, it's going to produce a lot of wind through the central plains by midweek. Comparing things here with the GFS model, and again, we're getting this from our website, one of our favorites, tropicaltidbits.com. And again, you can see here as we rewind this and start you off with later today, storm system in the southeast pushing away from Florida. All quiet in the northeast today, and that storm system out west taking a northerly track. Now, later in the week, this is the GFS model, and this time frame here for the weekend looks to be Saturday, showing some showers, maybe some thunder showers as we head into Saturday through Texas, parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi. But the other model that we often look at, of course, the European model, showing a little bit of a disagreement with that time frame. Let me get it queued up here. And we're looking at Friday into Saturday. And notice it's not showing much. This is Saturday. During that same time period, not showing a whole lot for that same time frame. So a little bit of a divergence there and disagreement with the North America, or with the GFS model and the European model. So we'll keep an eye on things. The European model also showing some rain chances into Sunday through those same areas that mentioned. Meanwhile, the GFS is looking a little bit different during that time frame. So there are some things to kind of unfold here and dissect a little bit further with these models. So there are some differences with the computer models, the GFS and the European model, as we go out a little bit farther this week and into the weekend especially. We'll dissect that a little bit further here coming up in my midday weather update. But one thing it does look like we're going to kind of transition back to a cooler weather pattern as we look ahead to next week. That's, of course, what this model here is representing the mid-level, upper-level winds and low pressure. It looks like more of a return to some February temperatures, some colder temperatures as we head toward the middle to latter part of the month as a ridge returns out west, and that will allow for some colder air to move back in from the east and from the north. And of course, we'll have more coming up on the midday weather update, a little bit more of a deeper dive into the computer models. Make it a great day. We'll talk to you soon.